Yo, what's up? We are back. It's another week. We survived it. Guys, how you doing today?
I'm good. How
Morning.
are you?
I'm doing well, Shane.
That's awesome. Johnny, you doing okay?
Good days and bad days. I had a really bad day the other day, but paramedic buddy of mine, I was low on sodium. You believe
Mm-hmm.
that? So, anyways, wasn't doing too good.
Oh boy.
I'm better now. Had a
That's
couple
good.
episodes that weren't good.
Is that an
Yeah.
electrolyte issue or is it something else that's causing that?
They had me get rid of all the salt intake.
Okay.
So I've been taking less than 200 milligrams in a day. And the
Mm-hmm.
body has to have at least 200 milligrams. So shame on me. I didn't, you know, basically cut all the salt out of my diet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I feel a little suffering. Shakes
But
really bad and so on.
hopefully you got that
Wow.
figured out and Johnny be back on his feet and running around like a chicken with his head
Yeah.
cut off in no time.
Yeah.
Well, guys, hey, man. So Shane here, I don't know if you noticed the little artwork in the top corner of the screen. Shane has been working diligently, came up with a logo for the show. So we may or may not be getting some stickers made, maybe some hats, maybe some other swag. Let us know.
Yeah. Got a pretty sweet design for a shirt. So
Sure, yeah. Let us know if you guys are interested. We might start pumping some of that stuff out. But other than that, November 12th at the Rancho Cordova Headwaters store, they are going to have a wintertime paddling seminar. So if you're interested in that and knowing what you should wear while paddling in the wintertime, go attend that. Take a look at the Facebook pages and see the exact times. I'm not sure on that one. Guys, it's off season. Tis the season to buy a new kayak and rig it out. So if you are looking for a kayak, obviously go to Headwaters. They even ship a kayak to you if you want it. You want to pay for shipping.
heck yeah.
But they can do that. Give the stores a call and talk to Brian, Steve, Harley, whoever's around, and get into that new ride. So there is, if you are patient, some big news that will be coming for the store and certain things they may or may not start carrying. But other than that, guys, Hooked 44 on hookedforlife.com for your 10% off your tackle order. Free shipping over 50. If you guys want to support our local small businesses instead of Tackle Warehouse, they've got a huge selection of baits and rods and reels and graphs. And I mean, you guys need a crab pot if you're starting to go crabbing, or he's got all kinds of stuff on the website. So don't forget about Jay over at Hooked.
We had one
Hooks.
heck of a time, didn't we, Sunday?
Oh my God, that was.
We went fishing. We took Jay out to Lake Hogan, out to the reservoir there, and we spent till about almost 1 o'clock fishing, and it was slow. It was slow, but we had one hell of a time, man. There was a lot of shit talking going on.
The three of us in that boat, man. I don't know how we all shoehorned in there, but we did.
Well, we sure did.
Funny. Yeah.
Shoehorned in there, huh?
Yeah. Well, kind of, yeah. Yeah, three guys sitting across on a 20 foot boat, 21 foot boat. Still a little tight.
Well, three guys the size of us. I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't gonna go there,
man. Ah. Oh shoot. Anyway, guys, so back to off season, buying new kayaks, bringing out kayaks, figuring out what you want to do with your new ride. There's no better person to talk to than this man here, Mr. Romel. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
What
Thanks
is up,
for
Romel?
What's up?
jumping on the show again.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. So, what's new and exciting in the world of Newport?
The latest and greatest.
Bonafide, big adventure.
What are you working on?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, man. Too many projects going on at once. But you know, Bonafide Big Adventures is always Native Native just released that their remake of the Slayer, not the Slayer Max, but the Slayer LTE, which is their
Mm-hmm.
lightweight throw and go. Did a Shane over there at the other another Shane over there at Big Adventures did a really good job on that thing. I'm excited to get one of those as a throw and go, and have to pick one of those up because lugging these current kayaks nowadays is just absolutely insane. So
Especially if you
um,
just want to hit the water real quick and be in and
sure,
out in a couple hours, you know?
yeah, dare I say it, if you want to go back to old school and be like how kayaking was, back of the truck, and just throw it out of the water and jump in with a couple rods and some boxes and go have at it, But
Mm-hmm.
and then of course the XTR 130. Unfortunately, with the hurricanes and whatnot going down over there in North Carolina, things got delayed, but they're starting to come out now. I know many shops have got them, and yeah, that's supposed to have mine hopefully in maybe in a couple weeks or so, and then we can start playing around with them and rigging it out and seeing what it can do. I got to spend some time with it at ICAST when we were there during the summer, and I mean, if you're a gearhead, if you're somebody that likes to throw everything at it, I don't think there's gonna be a better kayak to use as a platform for that. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
dare I,
So,
dare I call it a kayak?
I, I,
It is what it is, but you're not paddling that thing very far for very long. But I mean,
well, it's made out of plastic still, so
that it is,
technically is a
technically
kayak.
is a kayak.
technically,
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that and Newport wise, we're always trying to take a look and make things better where we can, and we also have our low profile battery coming out. So that's in production now. So we were hoping to have it out by now, but probably looking at maybe December, right around there. Um,
Right in time for
all
Christmas.
the models, right?
oh,
Yeah,
that's
right in time for Christmas.
perfect timing.
Yeah.
What how many amp hours is that battery gonna be?
So we have three models. So we have a 12100, a 2450, and a 3650.
Perfect.
So I've been
Nice.
running the 3650 in my PWR, for a couple months now. And it's really nice to just be able to put that thing in not the normal places that we shoehorn our batteries in our kayaks. Like literally, I can show you guys. I have it in my PWR right underneath my seat. I can literally put a 3650 and a 12100 underneath my seat without doing any special modifications or doing any type of crazy mounting brackets or anything like that. And it just works really well.
So,
No,
quick question on that low pro battery. Like you have it underneath the seat. So, you have them both stacked. Is there a clamp that clamps them together so they become one unit?
Yeah, so there's notches, basically, and that accessory hopefully will be releasing when the batteries come out. But there's a strap bracket that can come down, and there's notches in the battery casing where that bracket falls into place,
Sweet.
and
Nice.
so you can secure it down that way. But honestly, to tell you the truth, the it doesn't move because it's flat. I mean, it's
Yeah.
14 inches by 14 inches. Like I can literally on my Titan X12.5, I can actually put it in the floor on the front. Open up the front hatch, put it in the floor,
Mhm.
and it doesn't go nowhere because it's 14 inches by 14 inches like wide, and it's really
Yeah.
low, so it doesn't move. It
Yeah.
literally sits in the same spot. So I mean, that opens up, a whole lot of different configurations that you can do for sure. And
Heck yeah.
the fact that
So
it's IP67, it's waterproof with the connections on, is a big benefit for sure. So it
yeah.
takes away the open terminals and wires that come out of it and whatnot. So it's pretty neat unit. And then we actually been testing uh, through our IP67 testing that we ran through, the 12 volt 100 and the 2450 actually float. So
Oh,
Wow.
smokes.
yeah,
Wow.
unfortunately the 3650 is heavy, so it's heavier than both of those. So both of those 12100 and the 2450 weigh right around 23 pounds. So right on par with all the other batteries in its class as far as weight goes.
Hmm.
But those two batteries do float.
That's amazing.
Wow.
How
Do
did you get
we
them to float? How?
Well, there's actually the way that
top
that
top
bat.
secret?
Nah, I mean, it's just volume. And then the way that cell is made, we actually designed a and CNC'd foam surround around the whole outside of the cell itself inside the casing. I could actually, you know what? Here, I'll show you guys. I'll grab it.
So you mentioned the hurricane that hit, right? So the Headwaters is doing the relief tournament.
Hmm.
There's 82 anglers now. Diego's in the lead with 105 and a quarter.
Oh, he's been smacking them. So
No,
yeah,
105.75. So yeah,
right.
guys, thanks all you guys that did jump on that. Thanks for partaking in that and helping out a good cause.
Right. So this is the basically the foam CNC foam surround that goes around the outside of the cell pack itself. So
Wow.
it's and we drop tested the pack at 3 feet. Um, Kind of nerve wracking, but we did it, and it's got rubber. It's got rubber bumpers on the outside. It survived corner drop, top drop, and bottom drop. So it
Nice.
definitely is.
Very
So
That's
good.
that
pretty
helps
sweet.
with the flotation, having that foam
Yeah,
surround.
that's a
And you also say the terminals are on the side of the battery, not on the top.
Yeah. Here. You know what? Wait. Let's make this. We can. I'll grab one real quick, and then we can kind of go over how it works. 1 second. I should have probably had this closer by, but it's all right. All right.
we're making them work, John.
Oh
Jeez.
no, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good.
He thought he was just doing a podcast. You're over there making them
Yeah.
work.
All right.
Oh
Oh,
no,
So
that's
this
cool.
this is 2450. Like I said, it's 22 pounds. So rubber corner bumpers. It fits inside a 16 by 16 black pack, flat on the floor. So these are the terminal connectors. So when you buy the battery pack, you'll get this cable with it. So it's got Anderson SB50 on one end, and then it's got the Amphenol connectors or waterproof connectors. So these have seals on them. Um, and so there's O-ring seals on the outside. So once these are connected, they just snap into place. That whole connection is IP67 waterproofed there.
nice.
Wow.
So these
Dude,
can
that's perfect.
rotate, and they're
Yeah.
they're locked in, so they won't come off. So um, yeah, so it's and the seal on them is very very good. It's like very tight fit on there. So and then so when you stack these, so if you do stack them or if you parallel them, these connectors still sit flush underneath the two and doesn't interfere or get in the way. So
Wow.
See,
So you can run.
that's a great part about having this man right there helping
yeah.
design this. He's rigging these boats out. He knows what we need.
Oh gosh,
And
dude. I've been wanting to do this for I don't know, gosh, years. And I'm blessed to be a part of a company that allows us to do stuff like this and produce products, specifically designed for kayaks and small boats. And this is finally like one of those things that because we've been shoehorning batteries that were designed to go in boats and cars and whatever into our kayaks for forever. So
Sure.
Right.
it's about
even the boat market taking that 12 150 that's like that, throwing in a rod locker, running your front graphs. I mean, why
yeah,
not?
yeah, for sure. So it's just like being able to do something like this that benefits us kayakers and small boaters directly.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's kind of it's very cool for sure. So um,
Do we have price points for them yet, or is that a not
yeah,
quite
so
releasing?
we released that at ICAST, and we're still, obviously we're fluctuating a little bit, but we'll be close. So like the 3650 will be 799, I think. The 2450 was 699, and the 12100 is like 599 or something like that. So
Wow. Wow.
yeah, so we'll be on
Wow.
par. We'll be on par
Yeah.
with all the batteries that are currently out there.
Yeah. And
Well,
what are our weights for the 12, 24, and the 36?
so the 12 and the 24 are 22
20.
pounds, right? 23 pounds, they call it. That's right, a shade under 23, but I call it 23. And then the 3650 is 30. It's like 10 pounds more, so it's like 33, I believe.
Oh,
So
it's not bad. So, and if
Now,
I'm right, that battery will also fit in the short stack, correct? So
oh
you
yeah,
could put the short stack under and put your crate up on top. Yeah.
or you
Okay.
could just not do the short stack and put that thing underneath your crate. So
Yeah.
yeah.
like,
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
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 But yeah, for guys that like to have things tucked in a way,
Sure.
definitely, yeah, it fits in a short stack by chance, right?
So
But
Sure.
how would that one work on the 36 volt with the step down running? Let's say you're 300 on the back and like a 9 or 10 inch graph.
yeah, it would be the same. I mean, the connectors, we'll have the connectors available separately. So if you wanted to make your own cables and do your own stuff, but literally you would just take that pigtail that comes with it, and then you would just do a split off of your Anderson connection, and then you can go from there. So
Cool.
they'll people, kayakers are very DIYers that are at their core, and we've done worse with done more with less. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think we can figure it out. But yeah,
Yeah.
I have my PWR set up here, and I can show you how it looks underneath the seat. Actually, let's see.
Sure.
You guys can.
So you could actually run these in your bass boat.
Yeah, you totally could. So that's the 3650 underneath the seat there.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, run 3 or 4 36 50 or 36 on there and 36
Yeah.
50, 3 of those and be a 36 volt system. Yeah.
You
So,
think that's how you're gonna run it in the XTR, Romel? Is that how you're gonna design something so it's
That's how I would run it for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
yeah.
So, yeah, this is my PWR. This is one hell of a kayak too. Like I will tell you that right now. But yeah. Anyways, let's continue on. But yeah, so Low Pro is probably our going to be the biggest launch coming up before the end of this year. Definitely. I think it's we have. Oh my god! I think we have like our dealers across the nation right now. I think we have like something like 300 of these units already pre-sold, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can
So
see why. I mean, it's gonna change a lot. Like, I mean, I ran my 2450 by Ono under my seat,
mhm.
and it was just low enough to where it was almost not noticeable under the seat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, all of us run the high seat position right now,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of like one of those things. It's like it just absolutely changes how. And it's not so much that you couldn't put, like, a lot of questions like, oh yeah, I could put my battery now underneath the seat, and I said, yeah, you can, but in order to secure it and in order to get it so it's in a situation where it doesn't move around, you have to fab or custom fab or strap down or do something. I know Hobie, when they released their 2025 PA, if you look at one of their key things that they made was that location underneath the seat. They're showing you that's where they put batteries. Like they made it so they I think there's a strap down location underneath the seat, and there's a
They
little.
is it different than what they've always had then?
Yeah, it's
It's
so
a little different.
yeah, under the seat, it's not flat. I think they made a little indentation where so you put batteries underneath there.
Oh,
You
so
can,
Kind
they
of
did they did lower
a little
the floorboard down a little bit.
I
a,
think so. I
a
haven't
So
little
really.
it
little
looks
seat for it.
it looks
Hmm.
like almost like from like the quick video they showed. It almost looks identical to what I have under the seat of mine. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
was
right.
like,
Hmm.
"What you're trying to rebrand something with?" I wasn't quite sure what that was all about.
They had to do. I mean, dude, that PA. I'm not a Hobie guy myself, but that hull. There's a reason why it's been pretty much the same for years. It's a good hull. It's
It
good
is,
design.
but I'm personally I'm disappointed. Like they're labeling it the brand new. They did
Yeah,
not make anything brand new, guys. They added some few things to what they already had, and
yeah.
I think they could have gone and done something better.
Well, I think what the underlying thing on this is, so because they did those changes, basically it's a new mold, right? And
Yeah.
it's interesting because they just released the XR, which had to be a new mold as well. So
Sure.
um yeah, but I mean they had to play a little catch up, right?
Hmm.
Because wiring plates, the inserts in the back for the power pole stuff, the motor brackets, whatnot. They had to do it. I mean, kudos to them. Like they're obviously in the last couple years they haven't been, I don't know the exact, company details, but I know they've been kind of, you know, on the negative side a little bit, and they're trying their best to make things better. So
Yeah,
progress is good.
and hopefully
Um,
with the new whole mold, they got rid of the lack of plastic on there, especially the
uh,
360 drives.
yeah, I
Because
mean,
I mean,
the amount of design, the amount of stuff that's in that PA, like if
hmm
you rig the PA 14 or PA 12, like they got cables running everywhere because they got the retracts for everything. They got, it's not a simple plastic hull. There's a lot of parts and a lot of engineering that went into that stuff. So I admire the engineering. It's funny because the head of product that came in, Jason Cardis, was the head of product engineering for Hobie. So he's been on for about a year and a half now, and awesome, awesome guy, just wealth of knowledge. And so he basically went through, and we kind of always we discuss design concepts and basically what goes into these boats, and like that 360, awesome design, but I mean it's got a lot of moving parts. So
yeah.
anytime you got a lot of moving parts, the more moving parts you have, and they are more suspect to break, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
So this is just kind of a break off. I'm very sorry, but I have got to have your input on this one. So you saw what Drew Gregory did with
oh
his
god.
Crescent. I've got to get your input on putting 4-foot blades,
Oh
power pole
goodness.
blades on the back of his Crescent. Where do you think this is going?
My question before you answer that, Romel, why are they still running hydraulic pumps on those and not running an electric actuator for a kayak setup?
Because they didn't design that for a kayak. Basically,
That's
it's
true.
it's literally, hey Drew, um, would you mind if we did this on your boat and just to try it out and see if it would be fun? And he
Yeah.
said, yeah, well, why not?
But yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
but okay, you got to imagine what you see is not all what you get. There's hydraulic pumps that go in. There's
Yeah.
hydraulic lines. You got a hydraulic fluid. Now,
Yeah.
you guys own boats,
Yep.
like that's not fun to play with,
Mm-mm.
right?
No.
And so you got basically dual poles that go down 4 feet. Like, I mean, sure,
That's
if you got that,
4 feet.
pole.
Yeah.
But and he even said, he goes, I have three crescents, and I have different ones for different things, and so we decided to try this on that one.
Why
Now,
not? Yeah, because I can.
yeah, because I can. Is it practical? Honestly, no.
For him, it is how he fishes. I'm not saying it's practical for everybody.
I don't even think you'll see him like fishing with that on a tournament. Like I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I just kind of.
If it's gonna be a thing, they're gonna be either 3.5 or 4 foot tall poles, so you have 7.5 to 8 feet power poles, and they got to make it with much lighter weight with some kind of an actuator instead of hydraulics.
Yeah, for how he fishes, I get it. But then again, like let's just say this. If you really wanted to, you could have took a micro power pole and cut those things down to 4 feet and
True.
so
And put
very
2 of them
true.
on there.
and just put
Yeah.
and like everybody else has done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a whole lot easier because it's got its own batteries. You sync the controller up or you hook it up to your Lowrance or whatever you want to do. So if I were to say, and I wanted to fish like that, and I only need to anchor down in 4 feet, I would have just took 2 of those poles, cut them down, and there you go. My thing is only 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
So
And I think
our
it
rods,
was. I don't know if it was just something that they did because they were bored and they wanted to. Power
it
Pro
was.
probably said, "Hey, dude, do you mind? He works for Crescent. He's like, if I break my hole, whatever, I'll get a new one. Why not?"
Yeah. Well, you got to look at too is like what those things cost. They're like $1,500 a piece,
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
plus the all the other install stuff that goes along with it, and then the
Time
hydraulic
putting it
pump.
in. Yeah.
The hydraulic pump is separate, and then you need another
2 of
battery to
them.
run that. Yeah, two hydraulic pumps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, dude, will somebody else do it? Of course, somebody's seen it. Somebody's gonna do it. Same thing with
Sure.
Somebody's gonna have 8-footers on the back of their boat.
of course, and then
Actually-
same thing with.
You-
Uh huh.
One of those systems, the same grasshopper leg, and you could
Yeah.
put springs on it and
And,
utilize the springs, which snap it to the bottom, and then pull
Tiny
like
Boat
a
Nation.
lever rope
Tiny
or
Boat
something
Nation's
and
been
pull it up.
doing.
Yeah.
Tiny Boat
Yeah.
Nation's been doing that for years. They came out with a mechanical
Yeah.
version of those, and
Yeah.
they're just heavy. It's like
Mhm.
that's the thing is we can sit here and we can talk about weight, and for normal people that have boats, weight is not a defining factor, right? Where it is for us.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Yeah.
how come they haven't made them like the whole?
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to cut weight, right? Carbon fiber for everything, other
Sure.
than the steak, and then, like I said, a little actuator,
Expensive.
and you can cut some weight, and you're not having any fluid. You don't have any hydraulics. Yeah, it's expensive, but guys that fish are willing to spend money. Yeah, everybody knows that. You know what I mean?
you totally can, but a lot of these companies, honestly, like they look at the kayak market. The kayak market is like this.
Yeah,
Sure.
those things. It's not that. But
Yeah.
even if you did that, dude, like on a tiny boat, right? It'd be those guys. I mean, if you, because you could in essence carry that to the tiny boat market and the kayak market. It'd be like the same thing, And
Yeah.
those guys would be probably willing to do something, put something like that on their boat once it gets designed and made,
But then again, it's like, dude, who wants to deal with hydraulics? Like I play with hydraulics, pneumatics all the time, air cylinders, whatnot. Like I would rather have done it with an air cylinder instead of hydraulics, just because like I just don't want oil
Mhm.
lines
Yeah, but
running
yeah.
in my
just
boat. So
eliminate all that with just like I said, a little like an electronic actuator. We have them
yeah,
do all kinds of stuff, and
Yeah.
they make them in all kinds of different lengths and sizes, and
Yeah.
It's no fluid, no air, no. You don't need a pump. You don't need anything other than
The
some
problem
wires and
is
a
A battery.
solenoid. You know.
the problem is with linear actuators though, they don't like water. I mean, you can buy ones that work and work fine. And the downside is there's no fail safe, right? So your linear
Yeah,
actuator cuts out on you, you're basically done. So
You're
it's
done.
like, it's one of those
but
things.
I mean, like it's like say your hydraulic pump goes out, right? You got your power pull down. What are you gonna have to do? You have to take a line off, and you have to manually pick that thing up and strap it down.
Yeah.
You know what
So
I mean? It's
Ask a buddy. Help you out.
yeah. I mean, in all honesty, anything can fail. It's just a matter of
yeah,
is it or when.
When it
You
fails.
know
right.
what I mean?
hmm
We're going down a rabbit hole.
Oh yeah,
We are totally. It's all right.
we are. That's what
I
we're
just
here
had
for.
to ask. I just had to
Yeah.
ask. I mean,
hmm
the wizard himself and what the and I wasn't sure if that was a little like hint to put it out there, like to see what
it's one of
Dude,
those
you
things.
know.
It was a
I
Yeah.
media
guarantee
thing.
you, I
It was
guarantee
a
you,
media
the
thing.
XTR and a 700-pound weight capacity, somebody's going to put dual power poles on the back of it. They saw that, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Dude, we do that. We've been doing that for years. Like people
Yeah.
have been doing dual micros for years. It's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
just
I
different
mean,
form factor. So that's the thing is like, we live in a kind of sometimes it's a monkey see, monkey do world.
Sure.
And
yeah.
it's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
You see something on there that
Yeah.
somebody wants to, emulate, then yeah, it'll be done. So somebody will do it for sure. I just once again don't know. I think there's other better ways to do it, for sure. It's just kind of one of those things. But
So do you think, so we got the XTR out, and David
Mhm.
Nunez is kind of, I'm going to ask it in a different way.
sure,
So that's a 13-foot boat, right? It's, forgive me, I forgot how wide it is, 40 something odd inches wide.
yeah, it's not the widest boat in the world actually. I think the new canoes are just as wide.
What do you
Yeah.
think is going to come? Are they going to build a 14, 15, 16-foot boat? Or do you think we're
No,
going to stop at 13.6 lengthwise and kind of maybe
you
go a
know
little wider?
the market dictates what we do in the industry. So
Yeah.
even though we would love to say like I would love to have a 14-foot or 15-foot kayak, right? Unfortunately, that's a very small, very minute sector type of person that would have that. Hence
Yeah.
Yeah.
the we already had it, like the PA-17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that was a tandem, though, right? Yeah.
But people ran it solo. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing. So you totally can. It's already out there. Like there's a reason why they stopped making it
Yeah.
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 because people weren't buying it. But now it may be different because trailer life now is more accepted in the kayak industry in the kayak world. Like having
Yeah.
a
I
trailer,
mean,
I have a trailer, like and I
yeah.
absolutely was dead set on
The
I'm never
trailers,
trailing my cat.
everybody's trying to run more batteries, more graphs, more
Sure.
power poles, more, everything. So it's like, is the next evolution going to be a XDR 15, like 150? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not
No,
saying Bonafide is going to do it, but
no, it will never get there. I don't think. I mean, the max you'll see is maybe a 14 something, but nothing
yeah,
exceeding 14 feet.
because even our PA 14s aren't 14 foot; they're
They're
13
13
6
6, yeah,
6.
for sure. I mean, I was
So
in a new canoe pursuit for years, and that was a 13.6.
yeah,
Um,
nothing's truly the model size that they are, but like to have like a true 14-foot kayak at like 42, 44 inches wide.
yeah. I
For
mean,
a bigger guy like me, I think that'd be amazing, right? Like, you get a little extra
yeah,
stability, a little extra room, and like I love the aspects of the XTR, but I wish there was a way to have like, 'cause I'm not gonna get on the bow of that thing and fish. There's no way. You know what I mean?
that's a
Like
gimmick for
I
sure.
wish they had an option to either have more dry storage or have your casting deck if you were trying to take, like, if I want to take my son out when he was little or have that little deck for him. That's perfect, for the family guy with the one kid.
Yeah.
But it would also be cool to have that extra option for
Well,
some extra dry storage.
let's be honest though. I mean, a casting deck on a kayak, you're gonna gain what, 6 inches of height?
Mhm.
Yeah, not much. Yeah.
For what's the gain? Like, really standing up 6 inches?
Yeah.
What?
Very
I get it.
10% of the time of the year that you might be sight fishing if you're
sight fishing. Right?
lucky.
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, you're what, a couple weeks out of the year or a month out of the year. You're lucky to even have that. So.
Yeah.
That'd be my one, I'd say, suggestion with Bonafide is to have an option to go either or. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like there are days where it might rain, but it's not going to rain, and you don't really want to throw your bibs on or your jacket on because it's not yet. You don't have somewhere to store it dry. It'd be nice to have somewhere to throw stuff like that, or a little tool bag.
I will tell you though, like if there's one thing that I've kind of learned about this PWR 129, and I could tell you the XTR, the front hatch, there, like my PWR 129 is fully rigged out, and I, like this last couple weeks before summer kind of died down, of course that we were out there, wake boats, whatnot. I've submerged the front end of this thing probably 5 or 6 times in one trip, and that hull was bone dry.
See, that's
absolutely bone dry.
That's what I'm
like.
I love my Hobie, but I hate my Hobie because my new one I built last year. It's a 180 drive, and it's either dry in the hole or I have a gallon of water in the hole.
I have never had a drop of water in this PWR.
It's crazy, and I can't tell you why. I don't know why. One day it's completely bone dry, and the next day I'm pumping water out of it.
Yeah, on my Titan 13, I'm usually got at least 6 like cupfuls of water in the hole sometimes. And really a lot of that has to do with that rear rudder and it feeding down into the
correct
holes for the rudder cables. Anyways, but I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah, so Romel,
freaking Max.
What's up, John?
What?
So a charging unit on there. So let's just say you want to keep those batteries on there. You're going to have the charging unit where basically you can attach them to the battery, or you have to attach it to the kayak, or how are you going to set that up?
So for those batteries, we'll have like Y split cables and parallel cables that will come out. You can have a parallel cable that comes off of the Anderson, and you can have that go to your charging system if you like.
Nice.
There's a bunch of different ways you can do it for sure.
So I got a battery question for you, Romel.
Yeah.
So you have your lithium ions or your lithium iron batteries.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between the two, and can you use the same chargers to charge both, or is it not good? You need a specific lithium iron, the LifeBoat 4 batteries. Do you need a specific charger for those compared to the other ones?
If you really want to get very, very specific, then yes, lithium ion and lithium iron phosphate charge a little bit differently. Can you use a lithium iron phosphate to charge a lithium ion? Yes, you can. Biggest difference they're both lithium, they're just different chemistries, right? So lithium ion is lighter than lithium iron phosphate, but lithium ion is more volatile than lithium iron phosphate. So if I take a lithium ion patch, you can go on YouTube. If I take a lithium ion pouch, and I puncture it, once it contacts oxygen, it's gonna ignite into flames. Whereas a lithium iron phosphate will vent. It'll still generate heat, but it will not ignite.
Okay.
So it will not burst into flames.
Yeah. Only reason I'm asking, so the boat I'm getting has a onboard charger. It's got the option to go AGM, lithium, or your standard 12 volts, right?
Yeah.
And I run BioNOS. That's why I was trying to see if that charger would still be good for, depending upon, because I know it says lithium ion battery charger if you look at the model.
Yeah.
what's
It'll
that going
work.
to hurt on a lithium iron battery? You know what I mean?
No, it'll work. It'll work fine. It's
Okay.
the biggest thing with lithium is just the charging voltage needs to be a certain level.
Yeah.
Um, and then you also have the BMS boards and the batteries that will protect from any other weirdness that goes
Okay.
along. But yeah, you'll be fine.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a selfish question
Uh-huh.
I wanted to ask.
No worries.
Um, what do you think? What was it? Max asked it. What's the next big thing in the kayak world?
Oh,
What do you think's going to come out? And are we going bigger bow mounts? We going bigger motors? We
no,
doing?
three horsepower is max. Like even the 300 is excessive. So you can
Are we
talk.
going new hull designs? Is it going to be a
Mm,
gadget that's coming out?
you know, right now industry trends are interesting, right? We talk about like
Mm-hmm.
if you look at what's coming out right now, besides it's like feast or famine. It's like the big boat and then the little boat. So you have like your 13-footer and then your 10-footer. So you
Yeah.
got your throw and go, and then you got your kayak angler specific, tournament guy rig, right?
Yep.
As far as tech goes, I mean, gosh, where can we go from
Are
here?
we going to get like a? I don't mean to hate on Yak Power. I've never used the FPV, so I don't know.
hmm
But are we going to get a better wiring system for these
Um,
boats?
it once again, it's interesting. I do, when I do installs and wiring and whatnot, people ask me all the time, was what do I think about Yak Power or what I think about FPV, and honestly, they're great systems. Like I tested the Yak Power system when it came out.
Yeah.
So I had the original 5 wire, and I had some issues with it, but um, there are things that those things do, and those things are great for ease of install.
Oh,
Okay,
Hmm.
keep
fantastic.
something
Yeah.
simple, right?
But I mean,
Um,
we're talking, bigger batteries. We're talking live scopes. We're talking multiple graphs.
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
is that Yak Power and the size of the circuit boards and the wires coming in and out of that thing, is that ideal for running all this stuff and getting your best picture and everything? You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna get a true kayak universal harness with a fuse block, maybe a battery shut off?
Yeah,
Um, you
right.
know, and
You know what's interesting is we talk about fuses, and I get that question a lot too. And so my thing is that fuses are designed to stop a dead short,
mhm,
right? Fuses, and it's interesting because fuses were designed around a chassis ground metal car vehicle boat that
Sure.
anything
has
that goes to the
metal.
ground, yeah,
We
yeah,
we're in plastic boats.
yeah. No,
So
it's
Hmm.
true. It's true.
you're not gonna get a short. You're not gonna get a dead short unless something comes apart and like whatnot, right? So,
Yeah,
you know, the least amount of connections, the more direct that you can be to whatever equipment that you're going to use, the better off you're going to be.
Hmm.
yes,
So
I
when I
agree.
tell people when they want to run their graphs through the Yak Power, I'm like, why? Your graphs have on-off switches.
True.
You don't need it. Just go direct to the battery. It's going to be your cleanest signal. You're going to have less interference. You're not going through a separate electronic unit or a fuse or a circuit breaker or anything like that. You got your factory fuse and your straight lead that goes to it. That's
Yeah,
always going to be your cleanest.
yeah,
Like anytime you can eliminate any junction point is going to be better.
Hmm.
yeah,
So, and then also like people, we talk about like how you wire, like waterproofing, this and that. A lot of guys like will like use those low temp solder heat shrink things that have come out in the last couple years. Those work great. They work great from wire to wire, but if you have multiple wires, 2 into 1 or 3 into 1, they don't work so great.
Hmm.
yes,
So nothing's going to be perfect. I mean, honestly, I don't use those. It just takes a lot of time. I'm old school. I am a two-way radio technician by trade. So weatherproofing like antenna connections and whatnot, I've been doing that since I was like 20 years old. And so we've always done vapor wrap, which is basically like strip caulk or some kind of butyl on the
Yeah.
ends, and then
Yeah.
the electrical tape over that. And
We
Yeah.
used to call that monkey snot.
yeah,
And
100%.
even
It
dude,
works.
like, and I'm finding this on my kayak, which is really pissing me off, is I went and bought, they're stupid expensive from West Marines, the crimp-on connectors with the heat shrink on it.
Sure.
I'm finding more of those things failing and causing me issues in my kayak.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about simple is better, I'm half tempted to rip that stupid fuse block I have on my kayak out. I'm
It
about
doesn't.
ready to
It's not really necessary.
get rid of my
but-
switches, go with a different style switch, something that's not just a spade connector, but I think the little eye connectors and a little screw, tighten them up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Because it's the stupidest little things that I'm finding on my, and I rigged it myself. I mean, I'm the one to blame.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you a secret. Like the last couple probably years now that I've been doing this, and this has all come into play because of Amazon. So, typically when I used to build wiring harnesses, just pull each wire. I don't do that anymore. I literally will go on Amazon and I'll buy. They're basically like pre-made Deutsch connector pigtails. So they already have the seals on them. They're all sealed up, and you buy them in lengths, and they have male females. They have Y splits. They have already pre-done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
And it's just like Legos.
I might.
Just plug it in and go.
Do they make those that go into switches too?
Yeah,
They do? Okay.
they do. So
We're going to talk later, Romel, because I'm gonna rewire my
Yeah.
kayak.
What?
I swear to God, I am so pissed off with my wiring job on this kayak. I've had my graph nut turn on twice. I've had other things fail on me, and it's the
Hey
stupidest
Shane,
little
how
things.
deep are we? Hey Shane, do you see a fish in front of you at all?
I
Yeah.
drive all the way to Oklahoma and then have my graph shut off for 2 hours and be pre-fishing. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm running around. I have no voltmeter in the truck, or the one I did, the battery's dead in it. I have limited. I'm running all over Oklahoma trying to find a Walmart to get a voltmeter and connectors. And
yeah.
oh my God, dude, I'm over it.
Well, so there's pluses and minuses to all the, like, our typical switches on my kayak. Like I can show you guys. I don't run like aux power. I don't run any of that. I have 2 toggle switches, literally. One for my GLS 10, and one for my nav light and 360 light.
That's
together.
exactly what I'm doing. That's
That's all I
exactly what I. Yep.
So one thing about that, if something fails, if my switch fails, I know I can open that thing up and hotwire it together, and I can turn them on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Can't do that with a yak power system.
Well, that's the other thing. I've had like 3 switches fail on me. I went to go turn my nav lights on. I couldn't get them turned on one day.
You're buying the wrong ones, dude.
I'm
Like,
sure.
I'll send you the good stuff, and you'll be all right for sure.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you what, man.
that was because I have seen that. I think in the past I've seen aux beam. Is that
They
yeah?
work good. They're cool.
Yeah, so I have seen that, and I was wondering, yeah. So if you're just going direct to a switch, that's even better. It's a whole
Dude,
lot cheaper
the
too.
lights I have are amazing. Like I love the lights, but it was a stupid. It was just, like I turned the switch on, and the stupid light would come on the switch.
Yeah.
And I'd have power coming out, but it wasn't enough. And I was like, well, I had a spare one, so I popped that out, put a new switch in, and the lights came on.
Sure.
I go, dude, this is so stupid. And I'm like, I'm over it.
I tell people, like, and not being selfish or anything, but I just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple. Like doesn't need to be overcomplicated. You don't have to think of this as because we don't have chassis ground. I have to put fuses on every single thing.
Dude, a ground bar is super inexpensive, and it's super easy to throw in. If you just need somewhere to run your grounds, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what I will say, what's nice about those aux power systems and aux beam, what I like about them is they have positive and negative on their switched panels. So you can just run both positive and negative lines from whatever device, whatever light, whatever, and right to their panel. And it takes both positive and negative. So you don't have a common ground. Everything just goes in like
Oh, okay.
red, black,
Yeah.
red, black. Yeah, kind of like it's the same as all the other switching panels, but
So the common ground to me it hasn't been my issue. It's been everything else.
yeah,
You know, I gotta say,
wiring is funny. Like
yeah.
So, Romel, I hear a lot of people they have the box that switches down 36 volts to 12 volts.
Yep.
So what do you think about those? I mean, myself, just like you said, is what I do is I do a 12-volt battery to my Lowrance unit. I'm sorry, my Hummingbird.
Mhm.
And if I have a failure in that, it's either the connection or the fuse, and
Yep,
that's it.
right.
And then my forward facing, basically, I have another battery that's a 18 amp hour that I run just off of that and the black
Sure.
box. Now
Mhm.
I hear people do the what do they call it? The breakdown, not the breakdown,
Step
but the voltage
step down.
Step down? Yeah.
Step down.
Yeah. What do you think about those? I mean, myself, I
Um,
wouldn't use them. I'd rather just get another battery and stack them. You know.
So there's two trains of thought in that, and one is yes, you're simplifying, right? Because if you do a step down converter, I think it's Monster Marine that makes a decent one for electronics. It goes from 36 volts in to 24 volts out and a 12 volt out, so it has like all three voltages, right? So you can
Okay.
run your 24 to your GLS 10, and then you run your 12 volts to everything else, right?
Right.
So it's addition by subtraction, right? You add a unit to subtract batteries. Now, downside is that if that module goes out, everything else goes out, right? That's always the downside. You have no
Is there
redundancy.
a lot of noise running everything off of a 36-volt battery with the step down? Like
Um,
I know you don't want to run like your motor and your graph on the same battery, right?
well, if you get you have to get an isolated step down.
Okay.
So there's non-isolated and there's isolated. The isolated step downs do a better job at cutting out noise.
Okay.
But I myself will never run my graphs tied in with my motor. Like I always have a
Yeah.
separate battery because I want that. We want to make sure once again cleanest signal.
Sure.
We don't want anything else on there. But if I'm running, a lot of the guys are doing 36 volt, 36 NK300 on the back, and they'll do the bow mount up front.
Yeah, a step down for that would be amazing.
Step down, and that's what a lot of guys are doing.
So your 3650 is an equivalent to what, a 12150 ish?
So 3650 is 1800 watt hours, so right around there. So that's like equivalent to 12100 is 1200, so it's like a 1270, I believe, or something like that. I think if my math's not correct, I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see, 3650 is 1800, and so 1270. It's like 170. I'm sorry.
170 amp hour battery.
Yeah, it's like 160, maybe something like that.
So you got, I mean, dude, like honestly, one little 3650s, those low pros, you could run your 300 and your bow mount pretty much all day long. And not
You
have to worry
can
about it.
because you're not using your bow mount to cover from point A to point B anymore.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
you're only using it to spot lock and to
I mean,
put you around, right? To fish
Think
with.
about it, right? Like I take that as run a step down. I've now eliminated
Yeah,
28 pounds of battery out of the back of my kayak.
sure.
And I've got one battery for two motors, and it'll
Yep.
step down like that. That right there, dude. It's 20 something pounds. Like that's huge.
But then again,
That's
I
a
mean,
lot.
honestly, to tell you the truth, like you can literally go down to it if you did running both motors. Like I will literally run my 3650, and I will carry a little 12 volt 50 amp hour for my bow mount.
Mm-hmm.
That weighs 11 pounds.
Yeah.
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 So,
That's
I
true.
mean, and then you don't have a module in between, right? That
Sure.
it's like because in that situation you have redundancy. So if you end up cutting out. Let's say you used your bow mount for just trolling around and spot locking. Let's say you're running. Let's say your bow mount or your rear motor goes away, or something happens with your 36-volt battery. You still have a 12-volt battery up front for your bow mount.
For sure, and you're still getting home.
And you're still getting home. So
Yeah,
that's
see,
that redundancy.
I like, and that's one thing. Like I love the idea of a pedal-less drive boat, like the XTRs and the PWRs. Sure. But it's like the tournaments that allow one motor. Like that's where I'm like, if you have one issue with something stupid and you're dead in the water, now you're trying to paddle. Like, who's going to paddle that XTR?
Well, I mean, you could say the same. You could say the same about pedal drives. I mean, literally.
Yeah, if your pedal drive breaks.
But yeah. But
I mean,
I put a lot of hours on motors, like
no,
so it's like
yet to break one yet.
My confidence level in electric motors, like these motors and whatnot, is pretty high. So
no, for sure. But like we said, dude, it's not an if but a when if something's going to break.
Of course,
right? Something's going to break at some point. Like, you know, the industry I'm in at work, dude, we're in the industry of wearing things out. Like, if we're not breaking stuff, we're not working hard enough. That's true. We're crushing rock. Things wear out and get broken. So.
Yep. Don says. Don asked a question. He goes, "Will you get longer battery life with a step-down transformer?" No, it's the same. Energy is the same. Energy in, energy out. So step-down transformers are actually. The good ones now are like 94 to 95% efficient, so you're going to get out what you put in. But the stored energy in the battery doesn't change. So energy levels.
And then the wire that you recommend would be a minimum of 10 gauge.
And it really depends on what what motor, and like there's different variables here. But I mean, I don't for like NK180 Pro. 10 gauge is plenty. That thing only pulls 24 amps. Like it literally pulls nothing. NK300 8 gauge is plenty for the amount of distance. If you go front to back on the kayak is 12 feet. 8 gauge is plenty. Never had an issue with 8 gauge.
That brings up a good point, right? So you always hear the basketball guys, the power harnesses are 8 gauge wires, blah blah blah, right? We don't necessarily need 8 gauge for your graphs. In a kayak, we're not running 20-something feet of wiring. We're running 10, 5, 6, 8 feet of wiring. Yeah. 10 gauge, save your money, buy some 10 gauge.
Well, the thing is with like when I think there's a company called Sea Clear that makes a wiring harness for cleaner graph stuff on your boat, right? And so basically what they're doing, it's not so much the wire that they use or the size of the wire. They're just separating the power wire going to the graph. It's an individual wire going straight to the battery instead of going from a battery to a fuse block to wiring to your graph.
It's a battery to the switch. And you know what the connectors that use on those are actually, I haven't seen those before. Those like twist lock butt connectors.
Yeah, those have been out for years. Those are actually they've been cool. They're cool. I mean,
because
they're a little funky, but
they are. But I was like, that would eliminate a lot of the stupid issues maybe I'm having.
But honestly, like all that noise that they say they gain from their wiring harness is not because of the wire itself, and it's not because of the connectors or any of that stuff. It's literally
directly to the battery.
They're separating that system, so the graph system from the accessory system in the boats.
Yeah, because I was looking at it because it goes from the battery to the master switch.
That's all it goes to. Yeah,
and then it goes to the graphs, and then they're cutting off the factory fuse.
Yeah,
fusible links, putting in their own fusible link, and then running everything straight to that. So they're eliminating all the switches.
Right,
which, and in the same token though, like they're not running switches on their live scope boxes. No, which I kind of it makes sense to be able to turn that on and off. I would think.
That's the thing. Once again, bass boats run common chassis ground, so all the equipment go to one ground. So all the noise that comes from LED lights and everything, all the electronics generate noise. So that's what they're doing is they're separating that system. And we talked about that is like most direct path to my battery for my grass, 100%
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah.
100%.
Like,
So
yeah.
yeah, totally. But
So you coming up with a new 300 updated or
no, honestly, the 300. We may do a different throttle profile, but as far as like output and whatnot, that's max. I mean, we're
yeah, that's it.
already super inefficient at the top end. Like when people talk about like we talk about efficiency and motor efficiency and whatnot in the water, and it just you know whole speed on all our boats. You calculate, do the math. Whole speed on all our kayaks is anywhere between 4.9 to like 5.3 miles an hour. That's straight math, right? In order for us to get above that, you got to throw a ton of power at it. So like the NK180 Pro is 600 watts, right? It gets your boat to 5.3 miles an hour. That's actually the most efficient. That's the best that you can get right there. Because so once we would step up to the 300, in order to get 6.5 miles an hour, or even 7, like I touched 7.2 on this PWR, but in order to get that 1.5 mile an hour gain, I got to throw more than double the power that I'm putting in with the NK180 Pro to get the 5. So
Makes
that
sense.
tells you
Yeah.
how inefficient that power range is in our kayaks.
Yeah, it's based off the holes of our boats.
It's just the hull speed. So the way, I mean, we could talk about like hull dynamics and whatnot. I mean, I have a
Yeah.
very uh, enough understanding of what's going on, and that's why it's like 3 horsepower is going to be the max. Like
I
we're not
got
going
you.
to ever go more than
Sure.
that. There's no reason
So
to.
Max wants to know if he could have a hot foot for his 300.
Can you get foot throttle control? Maybe, maybe, yeah,
He wants
maybe,
to pretend like
yeah.
he's in his boat with a hot foot.
Well, so that goes down to hands free, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
That's what we're
for
trying to
sure.
chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that everybody's always like we're always chasing that I want to be hands free. And especially in a kayak it's 100% like what we would love to do. When you talk about like XI3s and bow mounts and all that, like I ran XI3 for years, and you're literally touching that remote. If you're not
It's
spot locked,
all the
you
time.
know when you're spot locked, it's one thing. You press the button, you're there, right? But if you want to
dude.
jog left, jog right, you want to move, whatever, like you have to touch that remote. And what are
Yeah,
you doing? You're
a
taking.
recessed foot switch on the XDR. Now I think about it, would be sick.
Okay, so here's the problem with that, and this is the biggest thing about foot steering on a kayak, right? Is because our boats move so much, you cannot, to me, like you cannot be as efficient or good at a foot pedal standing up on a kayak just because you're going like this,
That's
you're going like
true.
this with your
Yeah.
feet. So
Yeah.
the traditional foot pedal on a kayak will never be that great ever because
That
of
makes
just the
sense.
way the way that the body moves. So it's hard. That's a difficult one.
Yeah.
But while you're
James
sitting
has a
down,
hard time on a 21 foot operating the freaking motor.
Hey, man, I'm learning, all right?
hey, you know what? Like I had a buddy that didn't have a recess pedal, and he was like, "Hey, you want to run the bow mount?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to Captain Morgan pose it for an hour.
Yeah.
Captain
I'm good.
Morgan.
Yeah. Captain
Yeah,
Morgan it.
no, I'm good."
Uh,
So yeah, it's difficult, but
every once in a while, I forget to turn it back up, and I hit it, and I'm like, "Whoa, hey, hold on!" I'm about to knock myself out of the boat.
Yeah.
right.
You.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, we did
that's a tough
Captain,
one for sure.
we did
That's a tough
Captain
one.
Morgan for years and years and years. Then we did the recess. We're like, wow, okay, this is a
It's
Way
game
a
more
big
changer.
difference.
ergonomical.
Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah,
difference.
it's
Yeah,
easier on
for
your
sure.
back. You're not standing there like
Yeah.
you're standing on a step.
Yep.
Yeah.
What James is asking, when is the bona fide foot control steering hitting the market? Oh, that's it's in production, so it should be soon. I know they got delayed a little bit with the hurricane stuff, of course. Once again, But yeah, if you guys don't know about the foot steering system, but that's
Is that going to be like the one that you put on Greg's boat, the rollers, bearings, and the foot
you want
steering?
you want to see it? I have it on my boat.
Okay. So is it the
Uh,
same style, or is it
no, this is what's going into production. So
That's all
basically, this
roller
is
bearings and all, man.
yep. So roller
Yeah.
bearings, and so you notice it says patent pending on it. So you can see.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, that is sick. I need to put that on my Hobie.
Yep.
I hate the one I have. It's so stiff.
So you can DIY this, and I did the DIY originally. And so the thing about this one, what we did with in conjunction with Big Adventure is you can adjust the cable length because there's a reel on it. So I
Oh,
Sure.
can.
that's yeah.
That's money.
That
So
is
what that also does is instead of a tie point where you would normally have the line kind of looped and tied off,
yeah.
it
Sure.
puts a lot of strain on the cable at that connection point because the cable is looped around this. It is
Yeah.
not going to break
Disputes
on you.
it disputes the force.
Yeah. So I mean, you could see like if I
Yeah, dude.
disconnect my motor, it just literally drops down. So
That's yeah. That's money.
you guys like my
Now
carbon delete plate?
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
are
I made this.
the
I made this the other day.
Cup holder
that's
tool
cool.
caddy.
All carbon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Are the XTRs, do they have the foot steering passageways pre-molded into the boats?
Yes, they come with it.
Yes, they
Come
do.
with it. Mm-hmm.
So that's where
So
Hobie dropped the ball, not adding that to their re-release 2025 model.
you guys want to see my my 300?
You got a different prop on there, don't you?
I have a black prop on there just because
Oh,
I want to look cool.
oh. I was like, what are you playing with in the shop there, Romel?
So I have a carbon retract bar that we're testing.
Nice.
Oh wow.
I also have a if you notice something right there.
Yeah. Is that
Oh, let
a
me make your screen bigger real quick, Romel.
is that
There you
a
go.
bearing of some sort?
It is a thrust bearing.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it just eliminates the well, you can see like
Dude, that is
Yeah.
smooth.
yeah.
Wow.
What's the weight on the 300?
The 300's like just the motor itself. I should know this off the top of my head, but
Is
I think
it
it's like 17 pounds, I believe, or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's
Okay.
close to 20.
that. Mm-hmm. Close to 20. And then we released the a couple of months ago. We released the flat plate.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So we have the aluminum flat plate on there. I've been running Trica rods for a little bit now.
How are you liking those?
Oh, they're awesome. They're great rods.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't tell you if they're better than anything else, but I just know from my experience that they're super light and super sensitive. So, I mean, what else are you gonna say?
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, foot steering. So soon. So yeah, you'll be able to buy this kit and it'll bolt right onto the XTRs. The XTR won't come with it, but it'll be definitely a good upgrade. My graph setup, so I'm running the Captain's Bridge, but I have it in the vertical orientation. So I have my HGS 12 directly bolted to the front, and then I put this on when I need it. But this is for my live scope, of course.
Is that another 10 or 12?
No, that's a 9. It's just 90
9?
PSV. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do have a hydro wave on there, but what it's so kind of cool is so I deleted my rudder here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so let's see if I can do this. So if you look underneath there, that's where I put my speaker.
Oh,
Nice.
that's badass.
Yeah.
Hey, if anybody wants a 2023 PA 180 drive, I'll sell you mine. I'm gonna go buy an XDR. I said I wasn't gonna build a new one, but I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
XTR is a good one, man. I tell you,
Yeah.
mine will be here soon, so you'll see. I got some. I already got a build list going. I got parts ready, so it'll be a fun
Mine's
build.
mine's coming too.
I'll let you
Yeah.
build yours first, Romel, then we'll fine tune it on mine.
Shane, what color did you get?
I got the steel.
Oh,
I
okay.
got the blue. Yeah.
I got the Andrus green.
You know, I was so tossed up between that color and the blue.
Yeah,
I really
blue is
was.
cool.
Yeah, the blue is cool. So
I wish
Yeah.
they would do an orange color, dude. Something that stuck out, like, and that's the one thing that I've noticed too. Like, and this is just me being, I don't know, just on the safety side is like, in a boat, like you don't see the kayaks very well. So I think like, I know guys say the brighter color fish are gonna see you, but I've still caught plenty of shallow fish in my bright orange boat.
You can there is a orange PWR 129 at the Big Adventure Factory right now that I'm trying to negotiate for right now. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
It'd be a cool color to have to just a little bit more visibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of the blues and the grays they get so muted on the water horizon line in the water.
Yeah.
It would be cool to have on a safety standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Max was saying he wanted a hot foot for his throttle, so he can throttle up or go in reverse with his foot. Now, like, we'll put some thought into that, Max. We might sure. Yeah.
Oh
Definitely.
man. Heck yeah.
But awesome.
You guys got any
Awesome,
other
awesome.
questions for Mel before we let him get home and have dinner and see his family? I'm sure he wants to get there soon.
Yeah,
Anything
pretty
else,
good.
Romel? Anything else you
Ah.
got?
Have you guys seen our inflatable boat, our NS 130? I think it's fun.
Yes.
I was
Seen that
testing
one.
our NT 600, the big motor over there.
So when's somebody
Um,
throwing that on a kayak?
oh gosh, dude, I'm I'm throwing that thing on my XTR just to play around with. So
Just because.
Mhm.
How many horsepower is that
why
one?
not? That's 6.
6. Okay.
So on the inflatable boat, I can hit. I'll hit like 11.2, 11.3 with that motor.
Nice.
Wow.
Hmm.
That would be kind of fun, dude.
Yeah.
And what's the voltage of that motor?
It's 48.
48. Wow.
Yeah. So this is our.
Oh
That's
yeah. I think I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. I think it's pretty sick, dude.
Oh gosh, this thing's a lot of fun, dude.
Dude,
Like,
I know, Romel, you work your ass off, but you got one hell of an office, bud.
thank you, thank you. I have an old Copperhead Titan 12 over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you don't get to play much, but when you do get to play, you got the toys to play with.
I tell you what, I've been making it a point to go out every weekend for the last like 3 or 4 weeks, and I've been hitting the Delta, and the Delta has been treating
Good
me
for
very
you.
well.
Good for
Been
you.
treating me
Nice.
very well. The jerk big bite is just on fire right now on the Delta.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good. I'm glad to hear. I know last time we talked, you're like, oh, just
Yeah.
want to get
you're-
out. You've been swamped.
Ah, dude, always. But
Well,
we try to
that
make
was
our
pre
time.
ICAST though, so he was super busy.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, it was. I was in North Carolina when we did it last.
Yeah.
I think.
I
Yeah.
said you were back
Yeah.
there
Mhm,
at
it
the
was.
Big Adventure Factory.
Yeah.
Heck
But,
yeah.
yeah, man.
Well, dude, I can't wait to see what you do with that XTR.
Yeah,
It's gonna
me
be fun.
neither.
It's gonna be fun.
And you'll have to send me the list of the good stuff. I'm gonna
I will do.
some of the good stuff and get rid of my fuse
Yeah,
block.
because I need to start buying things now. So
Yep.
Yeah. No, definitely. If you guys ever want to come down, I know you guys are kind of far. If you guys ever want to come down and hang out and talk shop, definitely come
Heck
down
yeah.
and do so. No
We-
worries.
Sweet.
I may be doing that, but it might not have a kayak behind my truck.
Right? Awesome.
Fine tune some electronical installation.
I'm always here to help people. I don't care whatever it is. Like if I can lend whatever knowledge that I have in my brain to help somebody out, no big deal. So
Heck yeah.
for sure.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you,
Alrighty.
Romel.
Yep.
Yeah, no
All right,
worries.
guys. Don't forget Headwaters Venture Company. shop there, order online, go to the store. Hooked44 at hookedforlife.com for your 10% off. Next week, we will not do a show. Election Day is Tuesday. I don't want to be in the middle of all that while we're trying to do a show. So we'll jump back on the following week, and we're going to have a show that you guys won't want to miss. Let me double check my calendar.
We should have
No.
back on after the iCast.
Yeah, so the week after the election, I got to verify and just double check that he's going to be on here, but we'll have a post. Guys, if you haven't followed the show on Instagram, Anglers RX on Instagram, we'll make sure that guest is posted there. You won't want to miss that one.
Yeah, get over and give us a follow.
Yeah. Like I said, if you guys, let me put the logo back up. If you guys like the logo, we might do some swag. So there it is, top right corner of the screen. But other than that, Romel, thank you. Appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen, for sure.
Appreciate you all joining, listening, comments. That was great. Good seeing you guys. And we'll catch you in 2 weeks.